I'm Jeffrey Gibson, and I'm here in my exhibition at the Broad Museum, The Space in Which to Place Me. Growing up being described as a minority culture, a traumatized culture, something about learning of my family and my family's history in those terms didn't reflect who I knew them as when we're sitting over a fire laughing, when we're sharing food, when I hear them singing, when I see them dancing. Native American cultures are so collective. Even the term Native American is an umbrella term in the United States that describes hundreds of very distinct tribes and their histories and their aesthetics and their materials. Wanting to share that kind of international platform with as many different Native American individuals as possible led me to thinking about Layli Long Soldier, the poet, and her poem, Hesepa. One of the lines in there is the space in which to place me. The whole poem itself really is about how our identities are co-created between us. It's very much about how I see you and how you see me, and what you see in me is also the same things that you see in yourself. Much of the work in the show is about the irony of the promises of history and the promises of this country that have yet to be fulfilled. What are the obstacles that have not allowed certain things to come to fruition? But also, I think in putting together the exhibition here for the Broad, realizing the other communities that exist here. So not just Native communities, but communities from Mexico, from South America, Black American communities here in LA, and from which I've garnered so much inspiration. This idea of all of us as a kind of hybrid collaged person is really my subject. I'm just telling my version of it based on my own experiences. I mean, I really see what I do as kind of reflection of the times that we live in. I'm fascinated by the conversations that we're having culturally. I think the idea of making like really textile-based sculptures is something that was really exciting to me, especially at this scale. They're kind of dense and full, but almost like beyond words. I mean, like to get this gradient to go from yellow through to the reds, to the purples, to the blues, to the greens. The kind of craft element that goes into them is pretty remarkable. Everything has to be mapped out, drawings have to be made to scale.
You want to tell us about their hairdos?
Their hairdos were a big deal. I'll start with their postures are actually based off of very traditional, usually European marble bust forms. So all of these beads are individually attached. They're not representative of an identity that I'm illustrating. This one back here, we had a mood board in the studio where I said, can we mix Marie Antoinette and Nicki Minaj? And so we did all of this hair. It took forever. It was like 9 feet long. And then it took maybe 2 weeks for 3 people to braid it so it could even just be manageable. I really do feel like this room feels like a singular installation, which I think is we didn't have in the Venice exhibition.
I keep gravitating toward everybody is sacred, and just like that way of honoring each other and connecting with other people.
It's also meant to apply to other bodies that aren't human.
Yeah.
You know, it's also meant to apply to animals, it's meant to apply to water, it's meant to apply to all of the elements of the environment that support us. I'm hoping that people will see these works as being reflective of their own selves, which are also made up from many, many different threads. I want people to look at it and feel the complexity of these intersections and understand that those complexities also exist in their own lives.